Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hello, welcome and thanks for joining us on Fasaha TV in this edition of 2017 Year in Review, where we'll be taking you through those most trending news stories that happened in the year 2017, focusing on economy, politics, business, health, education, power, finance, and security sectors, respectively. I am Salim Umar Ibrahim, and now the news. A topmost global rating body in Nigeria says Nigeria's economy will improve in the year 2017. The Attorney General of the Federation says the federal government is set to decide on Mago's appointment as EFCC's chairman. With regards to the $1.1 billion Malabu scam, the EFCC launches manhunt for ex-minister ATT. Back to the health sector, a medical specialist in the country says Nigeria needs more cancer specialists in the country. It's also at the moment the federal government extends 2016 budget implementation to the month of March 2017. President Muhammadu Buhari receives Boko Haram flag from the Nigerian army. In spite of the southern Kaduna killings, the police command in the state says it will set up mobile base in southern Kaduna. Buhari assures Nigerians that change will manifest more in the year 2017. From the education sector is in the month of January, the Kaduna State Polytechnic Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics beginning indefinite strike. Nigerian governors also assures their inhabitants that suffering will be less in 2017. Stay tuned on to Fasaha TV on this edition of 2017 Year in Review. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Audio Jungle.
Welcome back. You're still watching the 2017 Year in Review, and between Monday 9th to 27th January 2017, you've heard that herdsmen killed 4 policemen, 5 others in Adamawa and Kaduna states. Regarding the unlimited 450 billion naira, the federal government issues new guidelines for calculating surplus. Experts say inflation rate may hit 20% in first quarter of the year 2017. Bring back our girls demands urgency in release of remaining Chibok girls. Rivers and Yobe States Christian Association of Nigeria protests over the Kaduna killings. President Muhammadu Buhari vows to rescue Chibok girls. New factional Shiite group uncovered in Borno State. Back to power sector, the power sector says it loses 1.57 billion naira in the year 2016. Indigenous peoples of Biafra once killing of Nigerians in South Africa probed. Back to insurgency, the Nigerian Air Force activates 13 grounded aircrafts. President Muhammadu Buhari to undergo medical checkups during short leave. It's in the month of January, Professor Wally Soyinka confirms he destroyed his American green card. The Christian Association of Nigeria calls upon Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, saying his silence is no longer golden on the president's health issue. Federal government and oil marketers meet and agree on 145 naira fuel price. With regards to the $1.75 billion oil block fund, representatives summoned NNPC Group Managing Director Emefiele, the Attorney General of the Federation, and others to appear before them. Customs impound 2 helicopters brought in by unknown importer. Back to insurgency, the Boko Haram sacks military base. 3 soldiers fired dead in Borno State. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says rehabilitating IDPs in Northeast is a top challenge. Nigeria's reactions trails as Buhari's latest picture in London appears. Outrage as customs sees 661 pump actions rebels. Federal government of Nigeria begins certification of Lagos and Abuja airports. Representatives order NNPC, CBN to provide documents on OPL payments. 5 oil firms implicated in Dizani's $153 million scandal. The Department of Security Service holds friendly chat with Apostle Suleiman over alleged hate sermon. Senate meets for the smooth passage of 2017 budget Representatives give CBN orders ultimatum to account for $22.6 billion oil blocks. Naira reverses loss after dropping to 500 Naira per dollar. And back to the month of February, the federal government bought 150 billion Naira for Lagos to Ibadan Express and Second Niger Bridge. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says, I can't disclose Buhari's health status. In spite of an alleged 26 million Naira diversion, Fani Kayode seeks out of court settlement. Naira begins trade negotiations with African countries. Representatives summoned MFLA over $1 billion forex sales by IOCs with regards to the 304.1 million Naira fraud. Ex-Nimasa Bose Jauro disowns confessional statements. And back to the fight against corruption. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission probes stalls Nimasa's contract with Tompolos fame. It's also in the month of the February, Boko Haram insurgents attack Yobe villages. Federal government to buy 400 million Naira cars for ex-presidents. Lagos to Ibadan, Ilorin to Kano rail lines to cost government $7.6 billion. And here with CCT trial, the federal government increases charges against Saraki. Speaker Yakubu Dogara says, we spend more on power and yet we live more in darkness. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo writes Saraki tells Senate to confirm on again as Chief Justice of Nigeria. Back to sports, the Nigeria ascends to 41 in February FIFA ranking. It's also in the month of February, the Senate President Bukola Saraki says Buhari is well, and they even joked last night on phone. So also the president's sister says, I speak with Buhari daily, also prayed for him. The People's Democratic Party reacts to that rumor on the president, saying we want Buhari alive. Nigerian Labour Congress protests, meets with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. Witness says Alex Bade hit $1 million in kettles. Melai petitions Osinbajo for not signing 3 bills. Osinbajo rejects 4 National Assembly bills. Presidential spokesman Premier Adesina says Buhari's health is not as terrible as people think. Nigeria gains closes 505 at parallel market. Stay tuned on to Fasaha TV on this edition of the 2017 year in review. We'll be back shortly after the break. Welcome back. You are still watching the 2017 year in review, and between Sunday 26 to 28 February 2017, in the case of Southern Kaduna killings, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo summons IGP to Asorok. And with regards to the president's health, Buhari's powerful aides by ministers, family and friends access to the president. Federal government to recover stolen $600 million, 321 million euros from UK and Switzerland. Fresh attacks on Nigerians in South Africa begins. Back home, Kano State conducts mass wedding of 1,520 couples in the month of February. Researchers discovers fake yam flour in Nigerian markets. Buhari says to his aide Adesina, thanks for holding out against mischief makers. Federal government set to roll out new anti-kidnapping measures. Still, the federal government recalls 2 sacked NCAA directors. CBN OPS at war over 50 Naira stamp duty. UNICEF says Jigawa State is the highest with cases of malnourished children. Nimasa repositions to attract investments. Minister Rotimi Amechi says half of the $48 billion conducted by Jonathan could have fixed Lagos to Kano and Calabar rail projects. And back to the month of March. It's in the month of March 2017, the Independent National Electoral Commission announces presidential election date to hold on 16th February 2019. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo meets with Guinea-Bissau's Prime Minister over political crisis. Smugglers flood Nigeria with harmful frozen fish, says the federal government. Back to insurgency, 3 soldiers die. Troops rescue 469 Boko Haram victims. Navy dismisses seaman for alleged illegal drug possession. With regards to vehicle import duty, Senate summons Customs Controller General to appear in uniform. Federal government cuts fertilizer price by half. United Nations, Nigeria and Cameroon signs agreement on 65,000 IDPs. President Muhammadu Buhari presides at Federal Executive Council meeting. The Senate threatens arrest as Customs Controller General fails to appear. Stay tuned on to Fasaha TV on this edition of 2017 Year in Review. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Audio Jungle.
Welcome back. You're still watching the 2017 Year in Review. And here the President Buhari orders the CBN to release 500 billion naira Paris Club cash. President awaits letter from Senate on Magu's rejection. Nigeria spends $3.5 billion yearly on steel importation. The Nigerian Senate turns back Customs Controller General Hamid Ali over uniform. President C says Buhari will return to UK to see his doctors. Federal government extends 2016 capital budget implementation to May 5, 2017. Back to aviation industry in the Abuja airport. The federal government builds lounge for elderly and the physically challenged persons. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission arraigns Akwa Ibom representatives for certificate forgery. And here, with regards to the 2017 budget, Senate President Bukola Saraki directs committee to submit reports. Back to the presidency, it says no plan to bring London doctors to treat Buhari in Abuja. Nigeria community signs $250 million rice production contract. And back to the month of April, the Boko Haram kills 4 soldiers burns army base in Borno State. NDDC petitions Buhari Senate over federal government's 1.8 trillion naira areas. Customs seizes schools worth 250 million naira, recovers underpayment of 48 million naira. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission uncovers 448 million naira in a Lagos shop. The federal government says Abuja runway rehabilitation is 80% complete, and still the federal government to demarcate 6,000 kilometer roads in cattle roads in 2017. Why did the constitute governing councils of ABU, UNILAG and UNIBEN and 20 others? It's in the month of April the federal government announces discovery of epilepsy drugs. With regards with the meningitis outbreak, the 2 die in Lagos as death toll hits 438. Suspended NIA Director General OK admits Jonathan ordered release of $289 million. Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service Hamid Ali redeploys 48 customs controllers, reconstitutes compliance team. And back to business, Naira closes at 380 per dollar as forex supply rises. Back to the health sector, meningitis death toll hits 745 across the country. National Youth Service Corps member who sought photograph with Governor Fayose get automatic employment. Stay tuned on to Fasaha TV on this edition of the year 2017 Year in Review. We will be back shortly after the break.
Audio Jungle.
Welcome back. You're still watching the 2017 Year in Review, and between Monday 24th to 26th April 2017, here the presidency says it will design template for whistleblowers. You've also heard that with regards to the $17 billion stolen crude, Chinese firm denies DPR's $2.6 billion claim. Federal government plans fresh upgrade of 22 airport terminals. Troops recover 79 guns, ammunition in southern Kaduna. The Nigerian Customs seizes 750 bags of rice in Kwara State. United Kingdom homeowners to pay taxes in Nigeria. Victims Support Fund realizes 54 billion naira to support victims of Boko Haram insurgency. The Nigerian Army and the Department of Security Service uncover arms, ammunition in Anambra communities and arrest suspects. Federal government to engage 6,000 youths in agriculture. Buhari writes to the National Assembly seeking $6.9 billion loan for Lagos to Calabar Rail and others. Still in the health sector, the federal government put meningitis death toll at 813. It's in the month of April, court freezes Patience Jonathan's $5.9 million account again. All Progressive Congress says it's not compulsory for President Buhari to preside over the Federal Executive Council's meeting. 2017 budget documents scattered away by police, says the National Assembly. Former President Obasanjo says Jonathan from beginning was too small for the presidency. And here the federal government sets up audit panel to take up grants to 12 new federal universities. Nigerian National Petroleum Commission reduced its petrol importation by 45%. Katiku says NNPC absorbing hike in fuel price, and hereby to security police confirm assassination attempt on Senator Dino Malai. Back to the month of May, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says Magus visit to Rivers State Chief Justice is an honest gesture. 66 Kirikiri prison inmates get freedom. Federal government seeks $5.2 billion from World Bank for electricity. National Assembly raises budget by 143 billion naira. The federal government to stop sugar imports soon. Regarding the $43 million ECOI cash, NIA, NSA, CBN, and EFCC shunts representatives. Probe. Back to insurgency. Families of 800 slain soldiers get 3 billion naira benefits. Education sector. The federal government inaugurates governing councils of 23 universities. Federal government showing political will to pay construction industry 600 billion naira debt, says JBN managing director. The Senate and the representatives to spend 13 billion naira on refreshment, travels, and welfare. The federal government says over 120 South African companies operate in Nigeria. In spite of the Paris Club loot, governors agree to refund $2.5 million. 30 aircraft stormed Niger state capital, Mina, for former President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida's daughter's wedding. Senators and representatives under fire owed over 125 billion naira jumbo budget. And with regards to the 11 billion naira alleged fuel theft, the Department of Security Service fails to produce Ipanyi Uba and files objection. Federal government injects $250 million into sovereign wealth fund. Naira appreciates to 386 per dollar. New vehicle imports fall by 90%. In the view of Ebola virus, the federal government steps up passenger screening at airports. 4.7 million Nigerians under threat of type 2 diabetes. TED fund releases 1 trillion naira to universities and polytechnics in 5 years. National Assembly slashes Information Ministry's budget by 120 million naira. National Assembly doubles rural electrification budget to 31 billion naira. Tinkan Island Customs Command records 3.18 billion in 4 months. Stay tuned on to Fasaha TV on this edition of 2017 Year in Review. We'll be back shortly after the break. Welcome back. You're still watching the 2017 Year in Review, and between 24th to 29th May 2017, the Nigeria Customs seized its container with 440 guns imported from Turkey. Allocations to federal government, states, and local governments dropped by 52 billion naira. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo seeks representatives' approval for $1.28 billion, 9 million euros loans. Ipanyi Uba's diversion of 11 billion naira PMS punishable by death, says the Department of Security Service. Fake anti-graft supporters in government frustrating us, says the EFCC. The presidency says Nigeria is slowly emerging out of economic recession. The Central Bank of Nigeria leaves interest rate at 14%, capital expenditure to take 2.24 trillion in budget. Regarding the 62.8 billion naira fraud, ex-naval staff and others in trouble. EFCC recovered 10 billion naira property from South in 2 years, says the Commission's boss, Ibrahim Magu. $450 million lost to cybercrime in Nigeria, says the Senate. The Department of Security Service hands over 82 Chibok girls to Women's Ministry today, and still the DSS discovers scheme in NNPC and diverting public funds. The federal government threatens to close land borders over rice smuggling. Indigenous peoples of Biafra raises alarm, alleges army, DSS, have perfected plan to kill or arrest Nnamdi Kanu. Exclusionist policies led to civil war, Boko Haram crisis, says Bishop Kuka. Amid night shooting, indigenous peoples of Biafra members. And with this, we come to the end of this segment of the 2017 Year in Review. Stay with us for the next edition of this program. I am Salim Umar Ibrahim, saying thanks for watching and bye for now.